I just finished a session of RimWorld, a game all about a semi-realistic but brutal colony builder, and was walking around my house. I began to wonder if this could be made in RimWorld, and if so, how. How the floors are made, the walls, and even the framing of the house to not have the roof come crashing down in on you. What aspects of the game could be translated into real life? All these thoughts from just one game on one subject. When playing any game that has one mechanic that can seem so small, or just another part of the game, does not mean it cannot be translated into real life. And even critical parts of life that are not even thought of. Learning to notice details in the world, how to plan strategies going forward, something such as failure, learning to adapt and be flexible in situations, and problem solving and more from games. The first example I have is for adaptability, being able to change when it's needed, or just being open to new ideas. In a game, this could be, to go to the next area, I would like a new item, but my party and me found another item on the wiki that make it a lot easier. So without much planning, we go get that item instead. It is hard to pin on a game because every game has decision making, but the example I got was from a game I play, Divinity Original Sin 2, which has a mix of strategy and small puzzles that has a good soundtrack to boot, no matter what anybody says. Now, as in a game Divinity, being open to new ideas or changes when something like the enemy's AI does something unexpected are constantly needed. And even if it seems like something small, an improvement to this skill can be important all throughout life. Now, this will be unexpected from a game, but even communication abilities can be improved from games. Games like the famous Dungeons & Dragons are a great example for this, as the entire game is talking. The talking involves describing locations and the actions of players and the game master being the god of that world. Why D&D is so good for learning communication is that you have to say what you want to do it. Say, I want to go to a store to sell some items I found. I have to turn over to our game master or GM and say, I would like to look for a store to go to. Then they have to either look on a map or look through some notes and see if they even built a store in this town. If they did, they then have to describe how to get there. Then again, I have to say something along the lines of, all right, I walked to the store and enter it. Then again, our game master has to describe the people in the store, what's all in the store, and then we have to go through the things we wanted to do from the very beginning, the sales of the items. All this talking for just one small interaction. The entire game is these small interactions, and they can build up, and they help your ability to describe things effectively to others without much preparation or thought beforehand. Now, what's the good in all this? Why does it matter if I play this one game and get better at this one skill? What if you don't even like games? The thing is, games can teach you essential everyday skills, such as creativity, problem solving, and strategy, which all are important to succeed in life. That is something any one of you or any one of the 7.5 billion people in this world can attain from just playing games. I've seen it happen time and time again with either close friends I play with or just random people I've met online. They can become noticeably more aware of the actions and what they can do going forward. Once there was someone who just could not find their way around the map we were playing. And I told him that, did you turn off your mini-map option? He did. So once he turned it back on, he started to learn the layout of the map, as well as the specialized locations' names. It might seem like something small, but improvement of skills can be important while having fun in a game. And anybody can have an improvement of these skills. Now, one of my final examples will be from Portal, a game where you have to take a mix of physics and puzzles to get through the game. Physics, something taught in high school about a game fighting an evil robot. Now, the problem solving comes into play when you have to get from point A to point B with many obstacles in your way. And again, it's even more difficult when I have to get a cube with me, but not go through a laser wall that will destroy it, while also climbing the multiple stories of the level to get to the next stage. Well, not the first example of physics education in games. It's the mix of fun and education that helped get the learning across. You're not just learning physics, but how to get from where you want to be, point A, to where you want to go, point B, with many obstacles in the way. I recently used this method in an example that anybody who's been in school can relate to, and that I recently had to use. I had a paper that needed to be done, and I didn't know where to go. That was my obstacle. And the place I wanted to be was to have a finished paper. The solution could be as simple as just taking a break and thinking about where to go next, or looking through some information to find another start. It's not about the obstacle, it's about the solution to get around that. Now, this all begs the question, why are games so good for learning and even education besides just being enjoyable? It's their ability to pull you in and feel as if you're an actual part of the world you're in. As when I'm playing a game, all the focus I have is on the game at hand. And this can be vital to learning. If you don't care about what you're learning, nothing will be learned. And if anything that is gained will probably be forgotten in a short time. This is caused by something called dopamine, a little happy chemical found in your brain that can help focus. And there was one fact that was found by Nature International Journal of Science that it is released while playing games. This learning by the focus of dopamine can only be pushed further by another crazy fact found by a Carnegie Mellon University researcher, that by age 21, you spend almost 10,000 hours in games. Again, with this, in school, from the 5th to 12th grade, you also spend about 10,000 hours in school. Now, that is 21 years of learning versus 8, but what is crazy is that school is mandatory until you're 18, while the games are played to such an extent that they can meet 1/3 of school's hours in the same amount of years. That means that there is a whole other learning environment in young people's lives. So, finally, if we as a society can stop seeing games as just mere entertainment, and instead know the advantages and values they can hold in shaping young lives and minds, and if the idea of playing games can be changed from having fun to being educational while being fun, the gaming world and the world as a whole will be far better off because of it.